Hi, I'm Allison, one of the physical therapists at Premier Health. Today I'm going to be talking about the hip joint. I have another video that you should refer to for hip mobility because hip mobility and strengthening go hand in hand and should be both of them should be exercised frequently. But I'll look at that video for the stretching for the legs. But today I'm going to be talking about hip strengthening. So hip strengthening is a really good thing to do for enhancing your performance with running or exercising, running or lifting. It also can decrease pain that you're having when you're walking. A lot of people after like hip surgery or they had knee surgery or avoiding surgery, they need to work on some hip strengthening so that when they're walking, they're distributing weight evenly and correctly. So I like to start with non-weight bearing exercises, especially if the hip or the knee is painful. So a good place to start is external rotation with the hip, and I'm going to use a band to make this exercise more difficult, but also avoiding weight bearing that sometimes is painful. So you lay on I'm going to place the band on right above my knees. Then lay on my side that I want to strengthen. So like this, and bringing my legs up and then down, up and then down. Make sure you're keeping your hips stacked. I don't want you rolling backwards or forwards because then you're recruiting other muscles that I don't want to recruit. So going up and then down. Where you should be feeling this is right on your buttocks. Right on the side, and it should feel like a burn. And for that, make sure you're doing about 2 to 3 sets of 15, and then you switch over to the other side. A way to make this exercise a little bit more difficult is you can leave that band on there and do monster walks. So this exercise is the same thing. We're working those hip external rotators. You should feel in the butt, but now we're weight bearing. So this is when your hip isn't as painful anymore and you're able to do more exercise. So I'm simply walking as big as steps as possible. So I'm big, and see how my knees are slightly bent. I'm in an athletic position. If you're sticking your legs straight, then you're going to be counterbalancing, and then you're using more of weight shifting instead of muscles. So bend your knees and then walk like this. You could walk up and down your hallway, or you can go at the gym and do this, but doing about 20 steps per leg and take a break if you need to. See how the band was right below my knees? If you bring it down lower, that's going to be even more difficult. So start at right below the knees and then drop the band down once you feel like it's a little too easy. And the next exercise is squats. I also have another video on squats, so refer to that one about the technique and things to look for when you're doing squats. But now I'm going to just briefly talk about grading them. So as I did with just this external rotation exercise, from non-weight bearing to weight bearing, squats can also be the same way. So first I like to start out on the wall. And there's 2 different ways you can do it, without a ball or with a ball. So we're going to start without a ball. Let's say you don't have a stability ball. I'm up against the wall and I'm doing isometric. So I'm holding this position for as long as I can. Make sure the weight is in your heels, not in your toes. And you can go to 90 if you want, or if you just want to start out, go to 45 degrees of hip flexion. And a way to make this a little bit more difficult is adding a ball in between the knees so that I'm working other stabilizers in my hips, which are in your groin muscles. So I'm squeezing the ball and I'm holding the same position. A way to also make it a little bit more difficult is using that the TheraBand around your ankles or right below your knees, just like I showed you with the clamshells. You can multitask that way to work on the different aspects of your buttock muscles. So you can start there. And another wall squat is using a stability ball against the wall, and they're simply rolling up and down. And so now you're getting more into the actual motion of a squat, but a little bit of support from the back so that I can maintain a good posture with my knees and my ankles and my hips. Again, refer to my squat video about how to do that technique. The next progression would be without a ball, without a wall. So they're free squats, just like this. And then another progression of that is using the band and doing lateral walks, but in a squat position. So I'm in a little mini squat and I'm walking out to the side. And I'm walking back and forth. And so this is strengthening also the outside aspect of your buttock muscles, and then also in your quads and your external rotators out here. So those are different ways that you can make squat exercises a little bit more difficult, but starting out at where you're at, whatever your level may be. And then another set of exercises, I call them kitchen sink exercise. A lot of PTs do. It's the ones that you can do at a kitchen sink, and so you can have some hand support if you need it, and you're going to be kicking out and then back in. See how I'm keeping my toe forward? I'm not going out because then I'm using other muscles that I don't want to train right now. I strictly want to go straight out to the side, keeping the toes pointed forward. Going out. Another one is back. So working your glute muscles, keeping my knee straight and going out like that. And then another one is we're going to be going forward, kicking the leg forward. So again, this is nice to have something to hold on to because you're in a single leg. Single leg balancing is sometimes difficult. So kicking out and then back in. A way to make the exercise more difficult is obviously using a band. So use a band to do the kicking out to the forward, backward, and out to the side. So see how I'm just playing to the one leg, kicking out and then back in. Kicking out and back in. So it's basically recruiting the same muscles, but making it more difficult for greater gains. So those are some exercises you can do for your hip girdle. They're stabilizers. And to make exercise more difficult is adding in a balance component, such as standing on a Bosu ball or standing on uneven surfaces, doing single leg squats. Balance and strengthening is so important for performance, decreasing pain, and just living the life you want to live of being more active. So if you have any questions, please consult your PT or your chiropractor, and have a great day.